Rick asks, where are those guys? I hope his car didn't break down. They should have taken a taxi like we did. They got our names. We really have to go. Randy tried to comfort Rick. Don't worry about the names. We have the tickets. They just need our real names so they can cover their asses. They can say they ID'd everyone, but the computer's messed up and didn't flag us. How do you know? Well, when you've lived with the crowd I have, you learn a few things. People want to party and have secret love affairs, and money talks. Look at the tickets. See the little words on the side there? Premium special seating? That's our ticket. Look, there they are. Just see John, David, Mike, and Tom came shuffling up the walkway from the hotel at one side of the terminal. Each was dragging one small suitcase. Rick said, "It's about time, you guys. We were worried." Tom looked frazzled. "Don't ask. I started out late, and then we had to wait for some of these guys who weren't ready. Then we ran into a mess. Are we going? Do you got the money?" Rick answered, "We got the tickets. Mexico City, 2 p.m. flight. Where's your car?" "I left the car in the far light out on the other side of the hotel. I didn't want to pull up front. They'd know we were Hicks for sure. So there's no trouble. You got all the tickets? What, we just got on the plane? What about security?" Randy started to give each his ticket with his name. "Listen, keep your ticket handy. Hand it to the security guy. If they ask you anything, say you're going to a business conference. You're all businessmen. Make up something. The way you're dressed, David. Say you run a flower shop or something. Better yet, you're artists. It's a special conference for exports. The Mexicans want our unique arts and crafts. But don't worry, they won't ask too much. Just try to act like it. Picture yourselves that way. Relax, confident." Only a couple more pages. John said, "I don't know. After what we've been through, I'm worn out. Do we have time for a drink?" Randy answered, "Yeah, we got a couple hours. Let's go get a drink and relax like we're on business." At the bar in the terminal, the group took up 2 tables next to each other. Rick asked, "So what happened to you guys?" Tom looked at Jesse. "You tell him." Jesse explained, "Well, after Tom picked us all up, we were headed down Kingston Pike. We were going to get on Elko Highway to the airport, but we ran into a huge crowd on Kingston Pike. We had to stop near the church. We think they were from the college. They were mostly young guys. They were all over the street blocking traffic. The crowd stretched all the way down toward the college. It was a riot, I guess. We saw blue lights farther down under the bridge, and it looked like a lot more people were down that way. And police cars stopped on top of the bridge, too, and more police cars way behind us. The police started moving in on foot. They were shooting tear gas. And the guys were throwing things at them, bottles mostly. The police even ran up from behind us and passed right by the car. They had shotguns. Then they shot some of the kids right in front of us. But then I saw they must have been shooting rubber bullets or something. The kids fell down, but they weren't bleeding. We had the windows up because of the tear gas and stuff, but I thought I heard one of the kids yell, 'Give back our phones!' Then when I noticed that besides broken bottles laying everywhere, there were phones broken and scattered all over. The police eventually cleared everyone out. They had vans and hauled some off, but I think most ran away. The police motioned for the cars to get moving. They wouldn't let us up on the bridge, though, so we were going to go down to the entrance by 40. But we had to drive through all those broken bottles. We got a flat tire. Tom complained, "And my windshield's cracked and there's shit splashed all over." Dave giggled, "You should have seen us trying to change the tire." John said, "Hey, we did it okay." Mike said, "I'm glad we didn't use our phones." Almost there. Rick asked, What about that? You said the kids were yelling about the phones?" John answered, "I don't know. We checked all of ours. They're on, but we didn't try them." David said, "Yeah, you guys said not to use them." Rick said, "I thought about calling. You guys were so late." Jesse said, "Well, it's best you didn't." Randy led the way, ticket in hand, to approach the first screener at the top, the head of the rope line. Randy showed the man his ticket. The screener informed him that he couldn't bring a phone or other electronics. Phones weren't allowed out of the country. With only half an hour until their flight, they didn't have time to arrange to mail their phone back home, so they threw them in the trash. One by one, they went back to their screener and were directed through the express lane. They still had to place their bags through a detector and walk through another, but no one did any more thorough searching or asked any questions. They sauntered through, met up on the other side, and headed for the gate. Although they felt relieved, their excitement would only increase. Randy was the only one who had ever flown, and none of them had ever left the country. They had no idea what they were headed for. They couldn't have known how close they came to getting caught. After President Koch's meeting that very morning, Bush did spring into action, but he didn't consult Romer or his people. He barked some orders to his subordinate to put together a team and called the authorities in Knoxville. Before Koch had even signed the executive order, he had his people contact the NSA. The NSA were expert at tracking and surveillance of all communications. They were also expert at blocking communications outside the country. No communications were allowed to enter or leave the country, but it wasn't very often that they were called upon to block communications inside. The kill program was set up in a very similar way to the surveillance program. The technician could specify a region from the whole country down to a few square miles. He could enter the identity information of the targets and specify how far to branch out from them. The only specific information Bush's people had given the NSA was to block a Jesse Christopher of Knoxville and all his contacts. They also had sent his name to all the police agency systems for immediate arrest, but the name was mistranslated somewhere along the line. At the airport, the computers had a Jesus Christ listed on the no-fly list and detained him. The NSA technician who activated the kill program thought it was an obvious pseudonym, so he checked that box to target screen names as well as legitimate account names. He restricted the area to Knoxville. Without specific direction, he left the default 2 degrees of contact or friends of friends set and ran the program. It happened that the theater department at the college was putting on a play with a religious theme. The leading role was played by a student who changed his screen name on his phone to Jesus Christ. Jesus was a popular student. At about 10:45, when the students were between classes and pecking away on them, most of the privileged student body saw their phones go dead. That's it.